Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Today we are going to work on pages 8, activities 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? As it is required today, we have a lot of work to do. So we're going to start on page 8. Okay? So, ¿recuerdan cómo te llamas? Choose the correct response to each question or statement. If someone asks you cómo te llamas, what does cómo te llamas mean? Yes, what's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? You will answer that question with your name. Me llamo Mr. Lopez. Me llamo Sebastián. So right here, what you're going to do in this activity, activity 4, using this based on the questions, you are going to select, okay? So, ¿quién es? ¿Quién es? ¿Es Hugo? ¿Encantado? ¿O me llamo Carlos? What could be the best answer for that? ¿Quién es? Remember, ¿quién es means who is. ¿Quién es? So the best answer for that would be es Hugo, right? That would be the best answer. Es la mejor respuesta. Okay? So if you are going to do these activities, you're going to click on question as usual. You are going to allow the page to load and the questions will be generated and then you just select it. Okay? That's what we are doing. So choose the correct response to each question or statement. ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? Who is he? ¿Es Hugo? ¿Encantado? Me llamo Carlos. What's encantado? Encantado means it's my pleasure. Me llamo Carlos. My name is Carlos. Es Hugo. It's Hugo. So what would be the best answer for quién es? Es Hugo will be the correct answer. Let's go to the next one. Encantada. Le presento a Sergio. ¿Y tú? Igualmente. So what would you say if somebody's asking you a question? Le presento a Sergio. What does le presento a Sergio means? I like to introduce Sergio to you. ¿Y tú? And you? Igualmente? Equally? So what word or what expressions go along with encantada? Le presento a Sergio. I introduce Sergio to you. My pleasure. Encantado. Encantado de conocerlo. It's a pleasure to meet you. Te presento a Joaquín. Remember, presento, it means I introduce to you Joaquín. What goes with this expression? ¿Cómo se llama? Mucho gusto. Igualmente. Correct. Mucho gusto. Te presento a Joaquín. Mucho gusto. My pleasure. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Perdón, me llamo Isabel, o bien. If somebody is asking you, ¿cómo te llamas? You will say, me llamo, and then you give your name, right? Me llamo Mr. Lopez. In this case is, me llamo Isabel. That would be the correct answer. Okay? So you complete all this right here and make sure that you click submit, okay? Now let's go to the next activity. Activity 5. Okay, so activity 5, we're actually going to put these words together into a conversation, okay? So we're going to complete the conversation. Carlos says, hola, what would you put here? Me llamo. Me llamo Carlos. And then you ask a question, right? What would be here? What would go here? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo te llamas? Beatriz answers, Beatriz. Me llamo Beatriz. Carlos answers, what would you put here? Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto, Beatriz. It's a pleasure to meet you. Y Beatriz says, igualmente. Igualmente. Okay, so igualmente is equally in pleasure to meet you. You click on the cue, and that's where you are going to actually practice a little bit of writing. Okay, so right here is giving you the conversation, how the conversation goes. And what you do is you just type exactly the conversation that you just practiced. Carlos says, hola, period. Me, and what would be the first one? Me Carlos, right? So it would be me llamo, double L, me llamo. The double L in Spanish sounds ya, ya, just like the letter Y in English. Ya, llamo. ¿Cómo me llamo? Hola, me llamo, and then the name. Me llamo Carlos. And then the person asks a question, right? In Spanish, we always have an interrogation mark that opens the question. In other words, an upside down interrogation mark. Te llamas. The question is, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo te llamas? Another thing that you gotta remember is that all question words, all of them, have accents in the first vowel. ¿Cómo? Means how or what. In this case means, what's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay, so you continue going like that, and you say what Beatriz says. Beatriz wrote, me llamo, will be the answer, Beatriz. And just like in Spanish, all proper names are capitalized, okay? Son con mayúscula. So do you understand what you have to do in this one? Okay, so I started it for you. Now you just have to put right here in number 3 in the numbers, the appropriate word that you can get. And if you forget what words to put, just look up here in activity 1, activity 4, all the words that could go with it, okay? And then don't forget to click submit, all right? So that is activity 5. Let's go to activity 6 and see what is it that we have to do. Okay, for activity 6, we are going to put this to live. Now, I know that in the regular classroom, I will have you go and meet someone and introduce yourself. But since we are living these COVID times, we can't really do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to practice that here in class, okay? Just by sitting or staying in your desk, and we're going to introduce each other from where we are, okay? So I will tell you, also you on Zoom, I will ask you questions if you are Zooming, and you will respond, okay? For example, I could say, hola, me llamo Mr. Lopez. And you can say, encantado, me llamo Beatriz, o me llamo Jan. Mucho gusto. And that will be it, okay? If you are at home, if you click on questions, you can record your mini conversation right here if you are using a computer. If you are in the classroom, obviously, we are using the mobile phones, and unfortunately, this website is not, cannot handle the mobile phone, so we won't be able to do that. But if you are at home, you can record this. You know how to do that, right? By clicking here and say, hola, me llamo so-and-so, Encantado. Me llamo so and so. Okay? So that would be the activity 6. Now, let's move on then to activities, the next activity for today. Okay, so I just want to remind you that when you, in Spanish, you have tú and usted. Tú means you. Usted also means you. The difference is that one is formal and the other one is informal. Tú is formal. It's when you're talking to someone that you know, or when you are meeting someone that is your same age, you use the tú form. Or when you're introducing a friend to another friend, you use the tú form. Now, when you're introducing someone, maybe an older person, or you are talking to an older person, you use usted. Okay? So he says here, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? ¿Cómo se llama? What's his name or what's her name? Notice that. ¿Cómo te llamas? Y ¿Cómo se llama? Here, te is using one of the forms for tú. And se is one of the forms that is used for él, ella, and usted. Okay, usted. If you're saying, what's his name? You say, ¿Cómo se llama? If you're asking, what's your name using the usted form, you will say, ¿Cómo se llama? For example, if you are asking your professor, a teacher that you just met, and you don't know her name in Spanish or his name, you say, ¿Cómo se llama? Because you don't know that person that well, okay? Or simply because it's a show of respect using usted. Now, if it's a friend or someone that you wanted to be your friend, you will say, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And that person will say, Me llamo so and so, okay? He says here, both are used to ask, what is your name? Te presento a o le presento a. Te presento is if you're introducing someone that you know, someone that is your own age. Y le presento is to introduce someone that using the usted form, okay? Both mean I would like to meet or I would like to introduce. ¿Cómo te llamas? And te presento are familiar phrases used with a person your own age, a relative, a person you call by his or her first name. Now, ¿cómo se llama? And le presento a is used for a person that you want to show respect, or a person you don't know, someone older, okay? All right, with that in mind, you're going to go here and you're going to click on activity 7, okay? And you're going to do the activity. So in this activity, what you have to do, you have to present, you have to introduce someone to someone else, okay? And that person is going to say, it's a pleasure, okay? And the other person say, same wise. How do you say that? Well, te presento means I would like to introduce you, and then you say the name. Te presento a. Make sure that you include a in here. Te presento a, the preposition a. Te presento a Thomas. And the other person says, oh, encantado, if it's a male. If you are a boy, you say encantado. If you're a girl, you say encantada, okay? And the other person answer igualmente, meaning likewise. So it will go like this. Te presento a Thomas. Encantado, Thomas, igualmente. Okay, so with that, you're going to go here and you're going to record that. If you are at home, make sure that you record it. If you are here in class, we are going to be doing that here in class, okay? We are going to introduce each other. So you will say something like this. Te presento a Thomas. Te presento a Thomas. Oh, encantado, Thomas. Igualmente. Okay? And then after that, you click stop and click submit. All right? So that is what we are going to be doing today, introducing each other. Remember, tú is for somebody that you know, and usted is someone that you want to show respect, or someone that you don't really know. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, please let me know.